the Speeding Bulletin. My name is Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com. This is all the Superman related news from the week October 17th to October 23rd, 2008. While not directly a Superman movie, a new film titled If I Were Superman has hit the big screen in Singapore. If I Were Superman is the latest Korean drama comedy to hit the big screens and follows the adventures of disgruntled chain-smoking film producer Song Soo-young in her attempt to seek out newsworthy human interest stories. When the cynical Song gets robbed one day, it is Superman who comes to her rescue. This chance encounter results in Song chronicling her documentary video, The Mysterious, Mentally Unstable Superman Who Goes About Helping Others Despite Claiming that he's lost all his superhuman powers as villains have put kryptonite in his head. Peter McDermott has updated our Smallville episode guide with his summary of the 5th episode of Season 8 titled Committed, while Neal Bailey and Douglas Trumbull both wrote their reviews for this same episode, with Neal giving it a 1 out of 5, while Doug was more impressed, rating it a 4 out of 5. The 6th episode of Smallville Season 8 aired in the US on Thursday, October 23rd. Titled Prey, this episode saw Clark suspecting that a recent murder at a theatre may be the work of a meteor-infected serial killer, and he demands that Chloe give him names of people she's counselling at the ISIS Foundation. A fearful Davis thinks he's the killer and confides in Chloe. Look for our episode summary and reviews in the next few days. This week, Jason C. from the CW Source spoke with Aaron Ashmore about Jimmy Olsen's role in Season 8 of Smallville. He also answered a few questions regarding the wedding plans and a possible love triangle involving Davis Bloom, aka Doomsday. The CW sent out a press release revealing details of what will occur in November episodes of Smallville. Laura Vandervoort will return as Kara for the November 6th episode titled Bloodlines, while Lois Lane will get her own superpower in an upcoming episode. E! Online's Watch with Kristen revealed that in the episode titled Bride, Clark and Lois will recognise the spark between them just in time for Lana to come back. We'll also find out why Lana has returned and where she's been all these months. Cassidy Freeman told Sci-Fi Portal that she hopes fans don't see Tess Mercer as a Lex Luthor wannabe. She said, "I hope they see me as an original, unique character as opposed to one who took someone else's place." Superman homepage reviewer Scotty V continues reviewing episodes from the 1980s Superboy TV series. You can check out his review of the Season 1 episode titled Birdwoman of the Swamps, which sees Superboy needing to save an old woman from a ruthless developer. Newsarama caught a quick word with artist Rags Morales to talk to him about his upcoming stint on Superman Batman, starting with issue number 53. He said, "Superman and Batman switch powers, so that's pretty crazy. It's a pretty cool story, I'm enjoying it a lot." DC Comics released their January 2009 solicitations this week, showing us all the comics scheduled to be released early next year. The Superman homepage highlighted all the Superman-related publications in the solicitations. Of special note was the final issues of the New Krypton saga, the conclusion to Final Crisis, and Final Crisis Superman Beyond number 2. ProjectFanboy.com caught up with writer Sterling Gates to discuss his new gig as writer of Supergirl. He said, "Supergirl is a hero, but she's a teenager first. I think people have trouble understanding her in that she's similar to Superman in concept, wearing the big red S and flying around fighting bad guys and stuff, but emotionally she's a very, very different character." Newsarama.com published the first part of a huge 10-part discussion with Grant Morrison about All-Star Superman. The writer goes into detail on all 12 issues of his award-winning series. Artist Jim Lee posted preliminary sketches for a cover he's designing for a comic set to come out in 2009. Titled Absolute Superman for Tomorrow, the illustration is a representation of Superman breaking chains, paying tribute to an older cover by Neil Adams. View the sketches online at Gelato Metti blogspot site. Newsarama.com sat down with writer Jeff Johns to talk to him about the challenges Superman will face in the new Krypton comic book saga. He said, "Just as Superman receives the greatest gift that he could ever dream of, he loses one of the most important people in his life." Superman comics we reviewed this week included Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen's special number 1, which was reviewed by Neal Bailey, who gave it a 3 out of 5, saying, "This was a fine read at times and an utterly frustrating read at others." Jeffrey, Barry and Neal reviewed Trinity number 20, which Jeffrey gave a 3 out of 5, while Barry and Neal only gave a 1 out of 5. Final Crisis Legion of Three Worlds number 2 was reviewed by Barry Fryman, who said, You don't need to be a Legion expert to enjoy the book, and he rated it a 4 out of 5. DC Universe Decisions number 3 was reviewed by Neal, who gave it a 1 out of 5, saying, "I spent most of the issue analysing how I could respond to it instead of being swept up in the story." Neal also reviewed Justice Society of America number 19, saying, "This is one of the best comic runs I've ever read," and he rated it a 5 out of 5. Superman and Batman vs. Vampires and Werewolves number 1 was reviewed by our new Superman homepage reviewer Ralph Silver, who rated it a 5 out of 5, saying, "This issue really delivers. This story is nicely crafted and well paced." Superman comic shipping this week from October 22nd include DC Universe Halloween 08, Final Crisis number 4, which has an alternate cover available, Superman New Krypton Special number 1, also has an alternate cover available, Tangent Superman's Reign number 8, Tiny Titans number 9, Trinity number 21, Showcase presents World's Finest Volume 2 trade paperback. Midway Games has released a video interview with Alex Ross in which he discusses painting the cover for the collector's edition of Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. The video shows a time-lapse recording of Alex Ross painting the cover artwork. The first Superman toy ever produced was an action figure made by the Ideal Novelty and Toy Company in 1939. The 13-inch painted wooden doll with working joints is hard to find these days as one of the most sought-after items among Superman collectors. The original owner of one of these figures has decided to sell their Superman toy via eBay. The online auction ends on October 29th. Superman homepage writer Tom L. handed in a report on the Screaming Tiki comic and pop culture convention, which took place at the Niles Eastwood Expo Center in Niles, Ohio. Superman homepage writer Barry Fryman reviewed the hardcover book Boys of Steel, The Creators of Superman, saying, "Boys of Steel is a book about the power of dreams and fantasies, but it's also a book about the evolution of a dream into an unending nightmare for Siegel and Schuster." Superman homepage reviewer James Lance continues reviewing story arcs from the 1940s Superman radio series. This week he reviewed The Phony Inheritance Racket, which sees racketeers trying to swindle people out of their life savings using a phony inheritance scheme. That was the week that was in the Superman world from October 17th to October 23rd. I'm Steve Younis from SupermanHomepage.com.
Today's Bailey Planet is about a most disconcerting situation. Smallville is not sucking anymore. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? People are gonna think my head's exploding. I see the letters now. Actually, I'm already getting the letters. Man, you're being too hard or too nice on it. Yeah, I used to get too hard on it. And man, I can't believe you gave that a 5. Where people are like, yeah, I give it a 5 too. And these are the people who, like, for the last 4 years have been like, I want you to die because you will not give it a 5. I don't know. Seems like they're heading in the direction of character. I'm digging Tess Mercer. Bloom is a little wooden, but at least he has promise. I'm going to play a little bit of The Force Unleashed to give it, to see if he's wooden like that typical, if that's part of who he is, or if it's just, you know, awkwardness. But, yeah, I was actually having fun at the end of last episode. I think Smallville may be back on the right track, which is very, very weird. It's going to be like Enterprise, where you had 2 or 3 seasons where everyone's like, no, 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 and then boom, it's suddenly rocking, and because, you know, they're throwing everything to the wind. So here's hoping it stays good by the 3 weeks from now when I will probably comment on it again. I'm through 2 episodes. Stay good, Smallville.
Bailey Planet is sponsored by Gibbo.